Hello and welcome to Doing Great Work. This is our first video podcast series. My name is Ryan Breisch and I am the Executive Director of the Literacy Council of Reading-Berks and the host of today's episode. And I'm joined today by two very special guests who have been longtime friends of mine and also of the Literacy Councils, Sandy Strunk and Diana Diehl. And welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
And
Ryan.
I'm going to allow you the opportunity to tell our viewers where you are from and what you're doing or what you're going to be doing in a couple of weeks, and then we'll get into the reason why I invited you to be here today.
Super. You want to
I
start?
think I'll start. Ryan, as you know, I've been a professional trainer of Myers-Briggs for many years, but just to catch you up to date, I now work as an executive coach and strategic consultant. I've been in my own business for the last 7 years doing this work and focused primarily with leaders and leadership team, doing one-on-one work, consulting work with teams, strategic planning, and probably most importantly, the MBTI training that we're here today to talk about.
So we'll tell you what MBTI means in a couple of minutes, but Sandy.
Okay, I'm Sandy Strunk, and I have worked 26 years for IU13 in a variety of capacities.
And the IU13 is?
IU13 is Intermediate Unit 13.
Which is
which is a school service organization in Lancaster County, right?
Yes.
And I worked as our Director of Community Education, supervising the adult education program, early childhood program. And then for the past 6 years, I've been doing development work, bringing in dollars and training.
And I alluded to a couple of minutes earlier what we're going to be doing because you have a big thing coming up in a couple of weeks, which I'm very jealous of. But it's going to give you more time to work with us.
It's going to give me more time to work with you. I'm retiring from IU13, but actually forming my own business.
Exactly.
So one of the things I hope to do more of are things like Myers-Briggs.
Yes, very good.
Very good.
And let's talk about Myers-Briggs.
Okay, sure.
We kind of had a relationship. That's where our relationship started, at least with Diana and myself. Sandy, we've worked together for numerous years. But what is the Myers-Briggs?
Well,
MBTI.
let me go back almost 30 years ago when I got trained in the Myers-Briggs type inventory, and I was in my late 20s and realized that there is another way of looking at how to solve problems and help development with people in organizations, and not only professionally but personally. And I can't tell you how important this instrument is. It's one of the most recognized, worldwide known research-based tools that help you understand your own preferences. And we came together, Sandy and I came together working at IU13, connected over using the MBTI in our own work in leadership and development because we believed this tool was going to help us.
Yeah, it's based on Jung's theory of type.
Right.
And Carl Jung did a lot of groundbreaking work on just how people are different. And probably the four big things I like people to know is that it really is based on our differences, how each of us is not a cookie cutter of everyone else. So that's the starting point. But more importantly, your preferences are how you default, how you choose to be in certain ways. And understanding yourself leads you to be able to work with others in a way and to be probably a more effective leader.
Right.
So that's the background. The MBTI is the instrument that we use to just assess preferences.
I know when I went through the session for the first time and I came away with my type being ESFJ. So for those of you who are watching and know who I am, you can now say, well, that's what his problem is. He's an ESFJ.
Yeah.
You'll find out what that all means if you attend the session. But I felt as though, wow, I'm diagnosed in terms of now I know why I do what I do.
Yes,
and
yes.
why I think the way that I
Yes.
think, and why I expect what I expect of other people, or how I can be more tolerant of other people and how I can work better with other
Right.
people.
It's exactly that. When you begin to get that understanding and then a language, to actually use to help to describe your preferences, you begin to not only become more accepting of yourself and increase your own awareness, but then you become more open to other preferences in other people, and you begin to see there's not a right and wrong. It's more about gifts that just differ.
Right.
And it's also, it's not destiny. I mean, even though you may have a natural preference for extroversion, I'll bet there are times when you're quiet.
Oh, yeah. I
So,
love to shut the door in my office
Yeah.
and
There
keep
you
the lights
go.
off. And
So it's about choices. It's the tools in your toolkit, and we all have the full set of tools. Some folks, like my husband, only recognize the hammer. So
Yeah.
understanding all of the tools and being able to select the tool that's most appropriate. That's what MBTI
Yeah.
is really all about.
I'm really glad you brought that up, though, because oftentimes in organizations and businesses, they go, oh, we don't want another tool. It puts us in a box. And if anything, what the MBTI is to help you get out of your own box.
Yeah.
And as leaders, one of the most important things that, especially learning now as an executive coach, is the development of agility in leaders. And the more agile we become as leaders and the more able we are to move effectively into helping ourselves develop and then helping others, the better we are. Yeah. And the MBTI is just such an excellent foundation for that language to help you become more agile and get you out of your box.
Right.
So we've been talking about MBTI, and there's a reason that we're doing that, and that's because the Literacy Council is going to be kicking off what we're calling a Level 1 MBTI series over the course of the next six or 7 months, starting in September, finishing in March. We're going to have a series of 4 workshops, 4 seminars, we'll put it that way. September the 9th, excuse me.
Right.
Tuesday, September the
Right.
9th is going to be the first session. It's going to be an introduction to the MBTI and validating our preferred strengths. Then we're going to have a session in November the 11th, I believe.
Yes.
I believe
yes.
you're right.
And it's going to be enhancing your opportunities with the MBTI and communication skills. Following in January, I believe we said January the 13th, we're going to be enhancing your team building efforts and the problem solving approach. And March the 17th, St. Patrick's Day, we'll all be in green, and we'll have some beverages maybe. No, I'm just kidding.
A celebration.
Yes, a celebration of our final course for
Yeah.
level 1 will be enhancing your leadership abilities and of others using the MBTI. So this is a seminar series that
Yeah.
the Literacy Council is kicking off starting in September. You are going to be the trainers. You've worked
Yes.
together for a long time.
We
and you work
have.
very
Yes.
well together.
Yeah.
When I went through my initial MBTI training, you were the
Facilitators. We
trainers.
were.
Yes.
We were.
Do you have a
We
funny
remember. Ryan, you were the funny story.
Yes.
More than likely. More
Yes.
than likely.
Yes.
I remember sharing. The first time I went through this was about 10 years ago, and I was a newlywed at the time. And I remember talking
I
about
remember this.
figuring out my preference and knowing how I like everything. Everything has to be scheduled just right. I'm very orderly and so forth. And my wife is orderly in her own way. That doesn't match my way. And so when you put the two together, it created chaos, and it was very frustrating to me. Now, 10 years later, I've gotten very wise and have adapted that schedule to
Yes.
my schedule,
Yeah.
and maybe even have changed my schedule to be that schedule. But it was eye-opening for me.
Well, everybody has sort of an aha
have-
experience, and yours was that flexibility was something you needed to master in your
Exactly.
not just your leadership role, but your family life if
Exactly.
it was going to
And
succeed.
it's a great example of how that became your strength, but also recognizing if you use that strength and
to
not
excess.
to excess, it becomes a weakness.
Exactly.
And once you became aware of it, then you were able to be more agile and
Right.
adapt. And it doesn't mean you lose that strength, but you also expanded your ability.
Exactly.
That's so cool.
Exactly.
We each have had our own aha moments using the MBTI. Like I said, both personally and professionally. But for me, I'm an intuitive. And what an intuitive brings to the MBTI understanding is a big picture visioning ability. And as a leader for so many years, I was in the position of setting the vision. But what I didn't understand was not everyone understood or could see my own vision. And when I began to see the value of the MBTI and changing my own language to help others move step by step to help me succeed in achieving the vision, and that equally both of those skill sets were important, we all got there then. We all functioned better as a team. But it was my own aha in my own type that I recognized I'm the one that has to change here. And then having the ability to do so with a tool like the MBTI was in the language. And it's why Sandy and I want to spend so much time around communication with our work.
Communication and leadership, because I think the other thing, as a leader, I turned to MBTI because I wasn't seeing the impact my preferences had on those I lead. And while I'm a strong thinking type, and I would have people come into my office and tell me this terrible problem that has to be solved. And I'd say, well, it's simple. You need to do 1, 2, 3. And I'm thinking, why aren't they leaving? I've just solved the problem. And they want to go on and on about how it feels. And I'm thinking, okay, well, time's... Understanding that the feeling side or the value side is equally important to the problem solving and the data was just a big step for me professionally. So everybody has a different aha.
Right. And we're hoping that if you're watching this, you're going to feel compelled to want to join us September the 9th. Feel free to give the Literacy Council a call, 610-670-9960, and we will get you registered. We're looking forward to you bringing yourself, teams of people from your business. Yeah. We're looking forward to a great sessions with the both of you. So
Great.
Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank
My
you.
pleasure.
We're excited about the opportunity.
So are we, and we'll look forward to seeing you on September the 9th. For now, I'm Ryan Breisch. This has been Doing Great Work, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks.